The Abuja Division of the Court of Appeal has dismissed a suit challenging the qualification of President Muhammadu Buhari for the 2019 presidential election. Justice Idris Mohammed, who delivered the ruling, held that the suit has been cut up by the fourth alteration to the 1999 Constitution, which sets a 14-day period within which an election matter must be filed. In the unanimous judgment, the Court of Appeal also held that the singular fact that the suit was filed outside the 14-day window provided by law robbed the court of jurisdiction to entertain the suit, so it has been dismissed for being incompetent and lacking merit. Meanwhile, counsel to the appellants say they may appeal the judgment, noting that the appellate court did not go into the merits of the case before dismissing it.
It would betide me to sit on appeal over my lords. My duty is to espouse the law. We have done that, and they've given their decisions. But I know, speaking as lawyer per lawyer, that there are always grounds to challenge judgments. And since our arguments were not taken, it means we would like to explore them further. I'll confer with my clients who instructed me, and based on their instructions, we shall surely react. I can only say that looking at their faces, they are not happy, and I know they want to explore the law on appeal. And if my instruction is to do that, I willingly lend my legal skill to it.
Meanwhile, the Election Petition Tribunal has adjourned today's sitting in the hearing of the People's Democratic Party's petition challenging the election of President Buhari. Midway into the sitting, the People's Democratic Party's lead counsel, Mr. Levi Uzoku, informed the tribunal that the second batch of witnesses for the day had been attacked by armed bandits on their way from Zamfara State. He said while some of them were injured, others in the bush are still missing. Our correspondent, Amaka Okafo, has this report.
The Presidential Election Petition Tribunal resumed sitting in the hearing of the petition filed by the People's Democratic Party and its presidential candidate, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. The petitioners did not waste time in calling several witnesses, which were mainly drawn from Bauchi and Yobe states. The witnesses alleged that violence, vote buying and other malpractices marred the election in their areas, and that it allegedly tilted the results in favor of President Buhari and his party, the All Progressive Congress. On the cross-examination, one of the witnesses, Mr. Lufemi Ogurinde, said he was trained with the guideline of the Independent National Electoral Commission 3 days before the election. However, he explains that an INEC official trained him and other ad hoc staff 2 hours to the election on how to transmit results to a central server. When asked, however, if he had ever seen the server, Mr. Ogurinde answered in the negative, but insisted that he was given a code to transmit the results to a central server. Another witness, Mr. Hussein Haruna from Bauchi State, claims that voters were coerced into selling their votes for 1,000 naira. But when asked on the cross-examination whether any of those persons involved in vote buying were arrested, he said that it is not his business since he had reported to INEC as stipulated by law. After taking 6 more testimonies, the PDP asked the tribunal for an adjournment because some of the witnesses were attacked by armed bandits on their way from Zamfara State. The lead counsel to the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Levi Uzoku, explained how he had been communicating with the witnesses on phone. He added that the report indicates that some of them were injured while others were missing after they ran for safety. He therefore asked for a short adjournment to enable the party to deal with the matter. The request was obliged by the chairman of the tribunal, Justice Mohammed Garba, who adjourned the sitting to Monday, the 15th of July, 2019. Amaka Okafo, Channels Television News.
Staying with legal matters, a federal high court in Abuja today struck out a suit challenging Justice Tanko Mohammed's competence to hold the office of Chief Justice of Nigeria. The presiding judge, Justice Inyang Ekwo, made his judgment on the grounds that the plaintiff Malcolm Oyubo Foundation lacked the local standard to institute the suit. Justice Eko also held that the group does not have the power to engage in public interest litigation, which it claimed to be undertaken by filing the action. He adds that contrary to the claim of the plaintiff to be a non-governmental organization, there is no legislation in Nigeria permitting the registration of any group as such, and no group registered under the Part C of the company could engage in such litigation. He then asked the National Assembly to copy some Commonwealth countries like Uganda and Zimbabwe that have separate laws on registration of non-governmental organizations. Some senior lawyers have blamed the bench and the bar for the alleged massive corruption that exists in the nation's judicial system. The lawyers who spoke at the Justice Reforms Conference in Abuja maintained that unless lawyers and judges change their attitude, attempts to fight corruption in the judicial system will be an exercise in futility. They are also advocating for the need to urgently review the process of recruiting and appointing judges.
For some time now, discussions about the need to reform the nation's judicial system have taken center stage at several fora. This is also the crux of the discussion in this hall in Abuja, as some top-notch legal practitioners in the country blame the bench and bar for the huge corruption allegations that have almost eroded public confidence in the judicial system.
Average Nigerian believes that can buy justice. That's to say it in a basic way. We are part of the problem. Lawyers, we must change our attitude. I think time is right to call ourselves to order, because in doing that, actually, we are shooting ourselves in the feet.
A state council of those days, you have to be really very good before you can be appointed as a state council, or what they call crown council in those days. Today the story is different. It's a matter of getting a job for my relation or for my son.
Apart from the need for attitudinal change for members of the jurist and the bar, the lawyers at this roundtable on justice delivery in Nigeria also advocate a strong need for the use of technology, as well as the need to enforce sanctions against those who delay justice.
How can we cut out delay? Use of technology. Judges in Nigeria ought not to be writing longhand. Every state government is looking at public-private sector partnerships. Perhaps we should have a public-private sector partnership to provide digital recording systems in the courts. In terms of delay, we should be able to sanction ourselves as lawyers.
The Nigerian judicial system has undergone some reforms in recent times. Despite those improvements, however, many still believe strongly that the judiciary needs to be firmer and live up to its responsibilities.
Away from legal matters now, the House of Representatives Ad hoc Committee investigating the inauguration crisis rocking the Edo State House of Assembly has paid a visit to Edo State. The Honorable Razak Namdas-led committee met with the clerk of the Edo State House of Assembly, Mr. Yahaya Umogbai, the Speaker, Frank Okie, and other members of the House of Assembly complex in Benin City.
Members of the House of Representatives Committee investigating the inauguration crisis rocking the Edo State House of Assembly arrived Benin City on a fact-finding mission. The committee makes a brief stopover at the Palace of the Oba of Benin, where the monarch is intimated with the aim of their visit. Straight to the main business of the day. The session here at the Edo State House of Assembly complex is between the members of the House Committee and lawmakers of the Edo State House of Assembly, including the Speaker.
We are like a fact-finding committee. Please, when we ask questions, we will expect you just go straight and give us the answers.
Most of the questions are directed at the clerk of the House, Mr. Yahaya Umogbai, who provides answers in line with his role on the inauguration of the Edo 7th Assembly.
Having gotten documentation from 13 members, did you make further effort to reach out to other members-elect to be able to complete the process of documentation for inauguration? Did you?
Immediately after the inauguration, they broke themselves into two groups. The ones that were not inaugurated, who could not meet up, left. They were no longer in Benin. And most times, the call I was not getting from them was no longer palatable for me.
Tell us the cause.
Some of them were calling me and quarreling, and they were threatening me. They were somewhere in Abuja. I couldn't go to meet them in Abuja to come for declaration.
The Speaker, Frank Okiye, also gave some explanations as to why most of his colleagues were yet to be inaugurated.
Please, can you tell me why only 9 of you in a 24 House of Assembly, where all of you are APC, that only 9 of you were available for inauguration?
Myself and about 5 of us were making calls on our members that were already at the chamber. They were either not picking call, or some would say they're in Abuja, some would say they're in Sapele, and one say he was sick. So we didn't know what was going on. And when they were not responding, some of us started mounting pressure on the clerk. We don't have to be here a whole day. It's already about 3:30 and we're going to go to 4. And the moment we were about 9, we said we have already formed a quorum. We needed 8 to be able to at least start this thing going.
Before this meeting with the clerk and lawmakers at the Assembly complex, the committee met with the State Deputy Governor, Philip Shaibu, at his office in Government House.
Staying with the crisis rocking the Edo State House of Assembly, the Governor, Godwin Obaseki, is promising transparency in the ongoing investigation. Governor Obaseki affirmed this in Abuja after he met with the House ad hoc committee set up to probe the crisis. The meeting, which took place behind closed doors, lasted for over an hour, after which the committee decided that for now, findings from the investigations will not be made public.
What I've assured them is that the government of Edo State has nothing to hide, and that we will provide them every information we have relating to the issue, and also assure them of the full cooperation of the government of Edo State, and that will provide adequate security and every other facility they need so that they can have all the information they require to undertake their investigations.